Hi and welcome to the channel. I'm Sam and this is the Crafty Blinder van build. Hi and welcome back to the channel. So I've just realised we are fast approaching 2,000 subscribers and I think that deserves some recognition. So we're going to run another competition. We've had a fantastic summer. We've been out on the road, we've been to a lot of the festivals and meetups and we've met a lot of you guys and it's been absolutely brilliant. And I really do appreciate everything you guys do. The interaction, the comments, the questions. It's so nice to know that you've got my back and I really do appreciate that. So we're going to run a competition pretty similar to the one we did last time. I'm going to have two winners again and one of you is going to get a hoodie and the other will get a t-shirt. Now it might not be this design, we're in talks, we've got another design that we'd like to put out there. It's just whether or not we can do it in the time frame, so bear with me and I will try and get that sorted. But I do have a couple of videos from the guys who won the last t-shirts and I haven't done anything with them. So once we've run this competition, we'll get videos of whoever wins these prizes and we'll add them all together. Over the last 12 months we've done quite a bit of travelling and we've used the van, worked out what works for us and what doesn't work for us. And one of the things that was always been a problem, or not problem, an issue at the back of our minds is the batteries and the charging system. We've ran AGMs now for the best part of 12 months. We've used the C-Tec to charge that and it hasn't performed as well as we thought it was. When I've looked at expanding the solar input, the solar array on the roof, I want to add a couple more 100 watts. Can't really do that without spending a lot more money. And if I'm going to invest money, I'm going to invest in Victron. I've heard so many good reports this summer of other people at van meets, and I've probably had my mind made up for me by all the really good stories. I didn't do a lot of research at the beginning. I was advised to go down the route of C-Tec. I knew a few people that had used them and said they were brilliant. Now, in a small van, I'd agree with you. In this size van, the proof was in the pudding. It's let us down a couple of times. It's had a couple of malfunctions where we've just had to reset it and it started working again. But it's just not what we need in our van. So this video is about us upgrading our MPPT and DC to DC charger and removing the C-Tec. I've chosen the Smart Solar MPPT 150. So the 100 is 100 volts and the 50 is 50 amps. This will give us lots of scope in the future for expanding our solar array. I do want to improve it. I do want as much solar up there as I can possibly get, but I didn't want to buy a smaller solar controller that would limit me in the future. So this is why I've gone for the 150. I think it's the right choice for the future. This is the DC to DC charger. I've gone with the non-isolated because I am using the chassis as part of my earth as well. So this is the right one for me. The fact that they're both separate, I'm a lot happier with. The fact that I can communicate with them via the app and find out what they're both doing, that there makes me happy as well. So I've cut a plate to fit the back. That's just off measurements. What I've got to do now is strip everything out. So we're going to start making things safe. So we'll remove the fuses and we'll be disconnecting the solar, and basically this is our charge going back to the battery. We can remove that fuse because we're stepping that up to a 50 or a 60 was it? I think it's a 60. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, it needs upgraded. That isn't adequate enough, I don't think. Or it may be, hang on, let's have a think. This is the battery to battery. So 30 is man enough, yeah, that'll be staying, but we'll take it out. So that isolates the supply going that way. Got an isolator here, which will turn off now. That isolates everything coming from the battery and everything fed from the battery. I will go around and check everything's dead, but then we've got to get up on the roof and split everything up there because the incoming leg needs to have no charge on it as well. So we'll need to get up on the roof, split the cables there, because we do need to reconfigure them as well. So they're currently in parallel and we want them in series. Okay. I really don't like this job because I have to take all the seats out. But if I do the work now, when the new battery comes, the new Roamer 230 under seat unit, when that arrives, just a matter of connecting it up, changing a few things in the settings, and we're done. I might even leave the seats out till it comes. But anyway, we'll see. So today is all about stripping out, making sure that plate fits. Once that plate fits, we'll take the wooden pattress out that's in there. The non-combustible wooden pattress. We'll get rid of that, and we'll put a metal pattress in instead this time. But we're going to mount everything before we put it in as well. So here goes. That's the plate all ready. So we've got our MPPT there, so everything will come into that side, and then we've got our split charger here, our DC smart charger. Put a cable tidy along the bottom, so we just need now to mount this in place. Okay, we've got to drop it down to make off the cables. I'm not happy with the fact, I don't know if you can see that, there's a few stray cables, so what we'll do is we'll tidy them up and put it back together. To make sure that we get the best connections we can on these cables, I've put some bootlace ferrules on. So these actually just slide over the cables, you crimp them, and if you look at that, just drop the ratchet. See that? That's crimped it into now square shape, with a little bit sticking out the end, so we've trimmed it off a little bit. I need to tidy that up a bit more, but that doesn't really make any difference. Let me show you this bit of kit. So this is the crimper. So if you look, it's got 4 mandrels, and as you operate the crimper, they squash in, just like that. Doesn't want to focus, there we go. So the mandrels slide in and compress the copper ferrule, sorry, they compress the ferrule onto the copper cable. Nice little bit of kit that. I did have one of these, but somebody realised they were handy and stole it. So this one I'm not going to show anybody, I'm going to keep it well hidden. But yeah, that's it. Nice little bit of kit. 20 quid off the internet for that, and a box of bootlace ferrules. So I've not actually been able to get up on the roof today to disconnect the solar. So what I've done is I've waited till it got dark, so my lights are on, but I'm just going to show you something. Even though it's dark, we're still getting 15 volts and about 5 amp. Spin that out of there, what we're getting there, 5.5 amp. So we're going to wait a little bit longer, wait till it's proper dark and we'll do it that way when there's nothing coming out of it. Shit, I knew I should have got up there and disconnected this today. It's 10:30 at night. I'm knackered, I'm usually in bed by now. So we'll give it, I think, another half hour. It'll be pitch black, and I'll turn them lights out as well. Well, I've had a few weeks off from the van. I took it apart. Basically lost a bit of interest in it. I've had a lot of things to do at work, so had to do a full weekend. So I'm on about day, I can't even remember now, day probably 12 now of being at work solid. So I want to do a job at the weekend, but I need the van running. Currently I haven't been using it because I've got the alternator end of the battery disconnected and I've got the seat out, so let me show you. So it's been like this for about, I'm going to be honest, 3 weeks. Yeah, maybe a little bit longer. So just let me get rid of something on the screen. So yeah, 3 weeks, and I've really not done anything with it. I don't know, I lost my mojo a little bit. Yeah, so I've ordered the parts that I need. Obviously I don't need to recap because you've obviously watched the start of the video up till this point. So for me, I need to recap myself. I need to put a couple of switches in the bottom that I'm going to use for isolators. I need to then make off the cables that go from one side of the isolator to the batteries, and then I just need to do a couple more connections, and then that tidies all that side of it ready for the new battery coming. And when that comes, it's just going to be a matter of dropping the seat back like we've done here, and then all batteries out, the tray in the bottom. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. I'll have a look at what comes. I might just modify the tray in the bottom, sit the battery in it, and then strap it down. So that's pretty straightforward when the battery comes. Right, let's get stuck into it. And as if by magic, that's it all stripped out. Just need to start cabling everything back up now. So that's nice and solid in there. We can run everything back to the batteries, and we can run everything back up to the batteries, connect them back to the buzz bar. That's the one coming from the buzz bar. I need to bring this one down and under and connect that up. That's actually to the chassis of the van. Let me pull out of the way. That one there is actually to the chassis of the van. So I think I'm just going to run that underneath, loop it to there. But then we need to extend this one. Or do I just put that onto the battery and jump off here and loop onto there? Decisions. Just show you what I've done here. So I had two breakers, main switches, sorry, and they were both odd. They didn't match, and my OCD got the better of me, so I went and bought these guys, £7 each from Screwfix. So they'll do what I wanted to do. This one is going to switch to solar. That's going to be ideal. So if we want to isolate it to work on the system, or we want to do anything with the batteries, we can isolate it here. This is the alternator supply. Again, we can isolate the alternator supply with this. Obviously I've got a spare wire there that I can use at any time if I wanted to switch something else. Currently I haven't got anything that I want to switch, so I'm happy. We're not using these for anything other than a switch. So these are rated to 100 amp each. So I could in theory switch the supply that goes out to the back through this side, which I may do. This is to switch all my distribution board off in the back, but I can do that via the isolator as well that we have on the side. These are the isolator cables. So I'm keeping that isolator there. If I do put the inverter back in, I will mount it probably up here on a rotary isolator as well. But I'm just debating whether to put the inverter back. We've never used it, but not my luck. By the time I'm away and I'll need it, so I might just put it back in because it's going to sit comfortably above here. You know, air can still move around. It did say 100 mil completely around it, but the air's going to rise, the heat's going to rise, so I've got no issue. I'm really not into this today, I really am. I'm forcing myself to do this, forcing myself to put the bits in, forcing myself to talk to the video. Just can't be arsed. Anyway, we've swapped that over now. We now just need to put some cables in for the solar. I'm not sure. we need to come off the bottom of this MPPT onto the solar, both sides of the buzz bars. Then we need to connect the battery up, so what we'll do is we'll run 4 cables, battery. We need to convert up the DC to DC charger. So yeah, so we'll run them cables round as well. So we actually need one from there into here, one from here to there, one from there to there. It sounds easy, doesn't it, when you say it like that? Right, let's get cracked on. We need 12 volt in here. This is the existing supply to the outside USB that we have, the splash proof one. So I could go straight off there, but it needs to be fused. So I've cut the fuses out that are in line, so we need some protection. So this is just a bank of inline blade fuses. So I've clipped them all together. I can't remember how they come apart now. If I just took it, will it come apart? No, it won't come apart for some reason. Maybe if I, maybe if I just clip that out that side. This is making good content, this. Sure of it. There you go. So this is one on its own, and we basically just clip them all together like so. And that's it. So what we'll do is we'll glue something on the bottom, stick it down. I was struggling to find a crimp for here because I was looking at the wrong size. This cable's actually 10mm, and now that I've got the right crimp, it's time to crimp it. So just show you this tool. This is an old style crimping tool, and it's great for these lead crimps. So it's a 10mm cable, so what we do is we slot it into there. Actually I've got it the wrong way around. So that slots into there like that, and this piece punches. So what we do is we punch that under. This is going to take a little bit of doing. I'll just set it up in the jaws first. Right, there we go. Oh, sugar. Right, let me show you that. That's because I slipped it to mark it. But that's the indent it leaves on the bottom side. So see that it pushes it right in, and then we heat shrink that up to there. Just like that. Give them a couple of minutes to cool down. We'll put them to bed. I've messed up again. This cable here that I've just crimped isn't for here. What we're going to do is, because this is an outgoing cable, I would like some way of isolating it. So I will always be isolating it without the engine running. So what I've decided to do is use this side of this isolator, which is for the alternator. So what I meant to do was to cut that and put that into there, terminate it into there, and then take a feed from here round and back up to there. Now we've made that crimp off, we can just feed it through the grommet and into the base of the isolator. Just make that off now. Give it a good pull. That's good. we just need to make one from here out and round, pick up and supply. Shouldn't be too hard. Let's show you this. So what I do, I just lightly score around the cable with a Stanley knife without going all the way through. And then we just bend it and that comes away. And you should see there's none of the cores of the cable been damaged. And the tool I was using before, let me find it. When you're cutting cable, you want a pair of shears, because these give you a nice square cut on the end of the cable. With snips, they tend to split out and you don't get as good a cut. Now, pop that on there. Rest that down. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put one of these in line as well. So obviously that's going out to the 12 volt in the van. I would like a fuse. I'm rating that board at 50 amps. I want a 50 amp fuse on it, just to protect all the cabling and everything else. So we shall cut that there, crimp a lug onto it, that will do that, and then we're good to go. We'll mount that there and then we'll just run it round and put it into the isolator. And what we'll do later is as well, we will label all these up, where they come from, where they go to. We'll label up all these. We'll put little tabs on these saying what it feeds. That fuse holder there, we can put a label on there. Oh, I'm going to sleep. Excuse me, that's the paint. My brother's painting a car, so anyway, that'll do me for today. I'm happy with that. Both the isolators are off, so that's good. Okay, before we set up the Victron solar MPPT, we need to make sure that we've not got any solar input. So just check there, the isolator is definitely off for the incoming. So that passes through a double pole isolator that I've just showed you there. So now all we need to do is turn on the batteries. The batteries will then connect to the MPPT and we can go into the Victron app and set the app up. So we'll do that now. That's the power on. I need my glasses on for the next stage because I can't see much these days without them. So let's sort this out. Not showing you a passcode. For the purpose of this video, I've already downloaded the app and I've already paired things up. So I've renamed my device, as you can see there, and I've given it a unique PIN number, and I'll tell you why. Because the first time you go to a site or a festival or a meetup where there is lots of self-build vans and motorhomes, you'll be surprised at how many people's devices are listed on here. Yours will always be the top devices, but there's so many other people with devices. And if you had somebody that was a bit, well, not nice, they could go in and mess up your batteries and your settings and all the rest. So, word of advice, change your PIN code, name your devices, and then you know which is yours, and everybody else will know which is yours as well. And hopefully you won't get any idiots out there. Right, as you can see, we've got 13.12 currently stored in the batteries. We've got no input coming in because we haven't turned it on, and because of that you can't tell what state the battery's in, whether it's in absorption, bulk or float. So let's click on the device. It takes a few seconds to connect and verify, and then it brings up all your values. So currently we've not got anything on there. First job, click that, go into there and check your battery status. So that one was set at lithium, and it should be on AGM spiral. So good job we checked that before we set it up. So now that is just a standard setting. If you want, you can edit the presets. So if you buy a battery off someone and they say these are the recommended presets, you can just click on that button and you can go through all these values and add your own and change it to what your manufacturer tells you to do, which is a pretty good idea, I think. So we're set up now. These are the values for the different states of charge, and I'm happy with that. Yep, happy with that. So we can click on that and we can turn it on. We're ready to go. Before we do turn everything on, there was a little indicator there on the bottom. Why is the charger off? So let's have a look at that. The charger's off because there's not enough PV power. This is expected in night time and doesn't indicate a problem. So we know that we haven't got the supply turned on at the minute, so I'm happy to carry on. Nice for telling us all. That's good. A good idea. And there we go. Sun's shining. It's a bit of a cloudy day, so we should be able to see this change. Oh, there we go. Look at that. 153. Nearly 200 watts. Oh. Look at that. Look at the sun is behind the cloud at the minute. Just show you, it is trying to break through. At this moment in time, I'm not actually doing anything with the DC to DC charger. I'm quite happy just to let everything tick along on the solar. Got no trips away planned. That's just, that'll do us for now. The battery that we ordered at Camp Quirky should be here in the next few days, and we're ready for it now. We are absolutely ready for it now. I've done all this work up front in preparation of that turning up, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a big investment, and at the time we couldn't afford it when we were building. We couldn't afford it, and in all honesty, I didn't see the attraction of lithium over well, I could see the attraction, but it was the price point that was getting at me. I bought a van. I bought all the equipment to go in the van. Maybe foolishly, I should have spent a little bit more money at the beginning, but I didn't. I've waited, and all right, I've bought twice, but I believe this time I've bought the right equipment. I took advice on the C-Tec, and I thought the C-Tec was going to be ideal for me, and it wasn't. It's lasted, don't get me wrong, it's had a couple of brain farts, but it hasn't really stopped us doing what we need to do. But I just don't think it was, well, it isn't big enough for what we want. So hopefully what we're setting up now will be big enough and it will last, and we should get lots of enjoyment and pleasure out of it. So we'll watch this for the next couple of days and see how it behaves. And don't forget, it's competition time, so remember to like the video, share it with your friends, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at next video, where hopefully we'll be putting our Roamer battery in. Can't wait, I really can't wait. This has been the longest 9 weeks ever. I'm like a kid at Christmas. Thank you for your continued support. If you like what we're doing, consider subscribing, liking and sharing with your friends. Also, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.